indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you and welcome. Alice, can I have a roll call?
Petracos, Alderman Capadona, Alderman Galogly,
Here.
Alderman Smith,
Here.
Alderman Deskin,
Here.
Alderman Vandermeer, Alderman Peretta,
Here.
Alderwoman Bartleson.
Here.
5 present.
All right. Pastor Ernest, could you open us in a prayer, please?
Will you bow your heads as I pray? Dear wise and loving Almighty, first, let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself. Thank you for the measure of health we need to fulfill our calling, for substance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks as well for freedom. Thank you for loving us even so from your boundless and gracious nature. As your children, you have said that citizens ought to obey the government authorities since you have established those authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various level of city officials, in particular for this assembled council. I am asking that you would gracefully grant them wisdom to govern amid conflicting interests and issues of our time, a sense of welfare and true need of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives, and joy in their tasks. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Lockport. In your most blessed name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Ernest. I appreciate that. All right. Start off with our liaison reports.
A week ago yesterday, I was reading about an officer that was shot down in Austin, right by Austin, Texas, and I recognized the name. His name was Craig Hutchison. He was from Lockport. He lived here he went to Kelvin Grove. He was a year younger than me and a year older than Brian. We both remember him. When I found out, confirmed that it was the Craig that I knew, I asked the chief if we could send somebody down to the visitation and funeral, and somebody whom I have no idea who it was graciously donated to the Police Benevolent Fund to cover the expenses of the officer. Went down there. And it was just a tragic thing. So a lot of people from Kelvin Grove contacted me, and people that I grew up with, and so it was a good thing that we sent the officer down there. It was the right thing to do. That's all I have.
Very good. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for doing that. And Terry, thanks for facilitating it. All right. Anything else we got for liaisons? All good? Okay. Let me jump right into things. Pam, what do you got? PZ1?
Yes, thank you. This evening, ML Realty Partners is seeking approval of a final plat and final development plans for building number 6, lot 11. I've identified the plan set that's being considered this evening. The proposed layout is in substantial compliance with the approved preliminary plans. I've identified some of the key changes between the plans. In essence, the original plan showed a much larger building. This one is smaller. The lot was also bigger. This is also a smaller lot. And the smaller lot is primarily due to the placing of detention ponds on separate lots. And since some of the area south of the proposed lot was incorporated into the lot for the existing building 7. This item was presented to the Plan Commission on July 13th. This was not a public hearing. However, the Plan Commission did express they expressed support for the project and only questioned the pond number 5, which was not shown as part of the preliminary PUD, but has subsequently been shown. They also asked about how parking was calculated on the site and then the status of the overall open space. The applicant is tracking the open space as well as the overall square footage of the park so as to maintain what was approved in the original development plan. Staff responded to these questions, and then the commission had directed staff to obtain a copy of a landscape plan for Pond 5A. We did subsequently on Monday meet with the applicant. We did receive the as-built for Pond 5A as well as for a couple of the other ponds, so the condition which was added at the end by the Plan Commission has been addressed as well. There were several conditions which I've outlined in the report. All of these conditions have been addressed, and the plans that you have before you this evening incorporate all those changes. There will be 2 conditions that will remain conditions of final approval, and they're pretty much just standard conditions. We have allowed for site lighting to be submitted at the time of building permit, once they kind of know who the tenant is and how everything's going to lay out. So we will receive that as we always have. Also, too, just a reminder is that a financial guarantee, a letter of credit, or a bond will be required for public and private improvements, and that they will also need to submit their required engineering inspection fees. And again, it's just standard language, what we just want to make sure it stays forefront in their minds. With that being said, we are asking for direction to place this on the council for August 17th for action. And Tim Geisler is present if you have any additional questions or if he has anything he'd like to add.
All right there, council. Do you have any thoughts or questions, concerns? Big Tim is here.
I don't have any questions about this one, but LG is really soon?
Really soon. The final inspection's tomorrow, so we'll hopefully
cool.
get them moving in on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Wow. Good job.
No, the park's really coming along.
Yeah, it is. It's moving.
All right. I didn't have any issues with what was presented, so looking forward to it. We could put it on a consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Big Ben.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. The next item is the State Street streetscape improvement construction documents with V3 for coordination with the 2017-2018 IDOT Lane Improvement Project. If you recall, we did commit the letter of intent, and we're going back with amendments on those with IDOT. These were projects that were taking the opportunity to do streetscape enhancements. V3 has been coordinating with TESCA and IDOT in regards to this project for prior conversations. It is their design that was deliberated upon by the council at prior meetings in regards to what the look and image is going to be for these new enhancements. Basically, this proposal is preparing the bidding documents that the state will use for these state street improvements. That includes coordination with IDOT for the bidding documents and their process, coordinating still in regards to the vault filling and the designs, and some of the lighting improvements will be also included in this proposal. So the staff is recommending this contract with V3 for these construction documents in coordination with the State Street projects, and the proposal is in your packet, and the total is $97,775. We will be also doing a little coordination with NICOR on this. There's a few of the buildings downtown that don't have meters accessible from the outside or the back of the building, and so we're going to be trying to do a little coordination with them in advance of the project, so that sometimes we run into situations where utilities hold up the progress, and we want to make sure we get all that done in advance so it can go as smoothly as possible. I'm not sure I saw George here tonight. Usually he's here. Maybe he got caught in traffic, but I'm welcome any questions. But really, this is about producing the documents required for the state to include this in their project.
Okay. All right. Thoughts, questions, concerns?
So there is no construction from V3. It's the state's taking over all that.
Correct.
All right. Looks good. I'm excited about it. Keep moving forward. Getting it a step closer, so. All right. Is everyone okay with the consent agenda on this then?
Yes.
Okay. Please, Alan.
All right, great. Thank you. The next item, Mayor and Council, is the extension of a license agreement with, at the Metro Station for Midwest Soaring Foundation, Resolution 16058. I know that there's a few members in the audience in regards to the Midwest Soaring Foundation. If you recall, they entered into a lease agreement back in October of 2015. They've been a great community partner. The Soaring Foundation has requested an extension for the lease, for the license agreement. We have deliberated with them in regards to 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, what is an appropriate time. 1 year's pretty short, and they have to turn around and kind of wonder what they're doing for their future every 6 to 9 months. We felt a 3-year extension was certainly agreeable to the mayor and internal staff. This is basically a flat extension, so there's a page in your document or in your packets that is really a 1-page extension of the current term, so nothing is really changing other than the length of the stay. I've sent an email out in regards to some of the improvements they've done to the building, painting and putting plantings in and things of that nature. They've proven to be a very good community partner in regards to attending public events and putting on events and welcoming people in. We also did a hard copy pass out tonight that they brought this evening, and I think we'll have someone come up here and answer some questions about what they do in the community. You want to come up to the mic?
Thank you. My name is David Nordin, Nordin. I'm on the advisory board for Midwest Soaring Foundation. Also present this this evening, is Joseph Standingbear Schranz, who is the founder of Midwest Soaring and the president. I did pass up a little earlier this evening a supplement to the summary of activities and accomplishments which was previously submitted. It summarizes the improvements we've made there, but also emphasizes the actual activities we've taken place at the center itself. The biggest, of course, being our grand opening, was attended by hundreds of people. We've also held 3 other activities there and scheduled 2 others which could not take place there because of the air conditioning. But we did what we said we were going to do. We've scheduled regular programming there. In addition, we've attended many, many community events beyond those at the center itself to publicize the fact that we are there. We have established regular open hours, and our plan is to develop school field trip programs, scout group programs, etc., providing that we have the time to be able to do that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have as far as what we've done and what we plan to do.
All right, council, you have any thoughts, questions, concerns?
I do. I just wanted to tell you that I have seen you at a lot of events, and I appreciate that. And to me, 3-year contract is no big deal, but so this next comment doesn't reflect on what you guys are saying, but with anything that we give away for free right in the city, has anybody ever approached us to use that space? Anybody else? I want to make sure that...
Yeah, thanks. Great question. We have not had much interest in this current space. As you know, at one time, even before 2013, it was involved in an incubator program. We do not have the incubator program anymore. I had one company approach me several years ago about it, but it really didn't work out for their space needs. So no, I don't have a list of potential occupants on a list knocking on a door right now for this space. There's certainly a lot of Native American history in regards to the canal, and the location near the path is a good one. Again, they've proven to be very good community partners and good partners in the facility for right now. So we do have another tenant in the building that does the coffee shop in the morning, and the 2 of them fill our facility. We had some concerns on the flooring in the train station area where the coffee shop is, and we'll be looking at potentially partnering with Metro to replace that terrazzo or some other material. But other than that, we really haven't been sinking capital funds into the building either. So they've been kind of doing some of that for us, which is nice.
Great.
Okay. We've just been excited that you're here. I really appreciate it, and add a lot of value to our city with your presence, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be good with the consent then? All right, yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
All righty. 17th and Jefferson. Lay it on me.
Okay, a couple of council meetings ago, I came to you with a request to approve an engineering contract for our 7th and Washington East reconstruction project. That project was not to be built until 2018. And we like to have those projects like in engineering at least a couple of years ahead of time, just to make sure that we get the plans done and there's no utility conflicts and we get all of the permitting and stuff done. This 17th and Jefferson project is also scheduled for 2018. We recently requested a proposal from Design Tech Engineering for the project. This project includes the full reconstruction of 17th Street from Washington to Madison and Jefferson Street from 16th to 18th Street, and will include full removal and replacement of the pavement and base and curb and gutter and storm sewer, and a small piece of water main replacement, or water main connection, actually. The proposal from Design Tech Engineering includes completing the engineering and bid documents for a not-to-exceed cost of $52,855. The most recent construction cost estimate for this project is $800,000, which makes the engineering cost about 6.6% of the construction cost, and that is very reasonable. So we are recommending that the city enter into an agreement with Design Tech Engineering for the amount of $52,855.00 for the 17th and Jefferson Street reconstruction project.
So can you just, one more time, kind of tell me the extent of it? So we start at the intersection of 17th and Jefferson. Where does it extend out to?
It is 17th Street from Washington to Madison,
Okay.
and Jefferson Street from 16th to 18th.
Okay.
So Jefferson Street, one block each side of 17th, so 2 blocks of Jefferson Street and 2 blocks of 17th Street.
So is your feeling like from Division to 16th is okay, not needed to be done?
No, it needs to be done too. But when we put the CIP together, we prioritized areas and broke it up into manageable projects. And so the portion from 16th to Division, along with that portion of 15th Street between Washington and Madison, was a separate project to be done at a later date because the streets in the areas were in a little bit better condition, and the water main connection, water main wasn't as urgent in that area.
Okay. All right, just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions on this, folks?
No, that's a very bad area.
It's a lousy.
It's a horrible area.
Right. All right, good. Did I mix up our city council? No, that's all right.
No,
We
this
have
is
an
still,
action.
Committee of the whole.
no, this is committee of the whole,
Committee of the whole.
ED1.
Because I have an action on here, so we're just a matter of putting it on for an agenda item next week. All right, so
Yeah.
you guys are okay with the consent? Is there any other
Design
discussion?
Tech has done other work for us. I mean, we do try to move, we have a list of pre-qualified engineering firms and several.
They were the engineering firm that did Maple Millen and Summit, and also the Summit and Runyon reconstruction project. They did the design documents for both of those, and both of those projects were constructed under the awarded construction costs, so there were no major change orders with either one of those contracts, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and on an associated note, go home tonight, drive down 11th Street or 12th Street. Make sure you go on Lincoln. They're finally done after about 40 years. They were finally done today. So I'm sure I'll be getting the emails and the phone calls about the speedway now that we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Because you get good traction because the asphalt's still hot.
I predict a request for a stop sign study
I
on Lincoln and
think so.
12th.
That's the way it goes. All right. Very good. All right. Thanks, Amy. All right. Any new business out there?
I actually have two quick things, and I've actually talked to two or three of the aldermen about this already. But you know, I read things, travel around, and look at downtowns, and one thing that I've seen popping up more and more, and doing a little bit of research as a non-technical expert, that seems to be more and more feasible, is public Wi-Fi in limited areas. And I was actually down in Georgia last week, and I was in downtown. They had a pretty cool public Wi-Fi. Theirs was supported by ads. I have no idea how much it costs to run, but it was just kind of cool. Coffee shops, you can sit outside. And, you know, as I was thinking about our downtown and the construction we have coming, wonder if it's feasible to look into what the options could be. Now, again, the operating costs or the installation costs are, but if other aldermen or an alderwoman, you know, think it's worth it, I don't know if Ryan has the expertise to do that, or you know, I'm not saying go out and hire somebody to put in a multi-million-dollar system, but if we could go out and get a few ideas of what possibilities are and what costs are, and I know, you know, we can discuss it. As you look, there are places that let everybody, including businesses, use everything for free all the time. There are other places that allow you on for a half hour and it's ad-supported. Just, you know, kind of what the options are, but I think pretty much from City Hall kind of through the downtown, or Central Square through the downtown, we could have a pretty nice little coverage area that's a little benefit to pedestrians.
Yeah, Jason did reach out to me earlier this week about this topic. I've actually, you know, Ryan is talking to vendors about this and technology. Comcast is one of the big providers. We do offer free Wi-Fi at the Metro Station now. We have free Wi-Fi in the lobbies of this building here and also over by the CED. It's a matter of technology and broadband strength as far as, you know, the cost of service. I mean, it could be, and I won't know what the cost of monthly service providing will be yet. We'll get some estimates on that. Capital investment may not be too bad. I mean, it could be $20,000, $30,000, and certainly I think it's a nice benefit to a newly renovated downtown. I don't know, we would want to set it up on a completely separate system than ours. We don't want public access into our mainframe and everything, so we'll make sure we consult with some proper consultants in regards to how we set it up. But I can certainly bring back some ideas and let you know about some costs and investment in that and whether we install it in 2017 or 2018 or later this year if it's really affordable. It's possible. I'm a little concerned about how you control the amount of data being pulled. I think that could slow it down if you allow a business on State Street to jump on your free Wi-Fi, and how does that clog things up for the pedestrian that wants just a casual use. So there's some things we'll need to look into, and I'm sure there's some potential, you know, legal hurdles as well, but we can certainly research it if you guys like to.
Yeah, I've had Razimi from Zealand Partners come out to our downtown development committee a couple times. That's what he does, and I've asked him to look into it. So he's
okay. Is he talking to Ryan?
I didn't know.
yeah, no, it's a good idea. So we've definitely been eyeballing it.
We focus on, you know, 8th to, you know, 13th or something like that, and maybe it's from the canal up to the Hamilton Street or something. We'll come up with a zone, and again, you know, where the transponders, I would think you'd probably want them maybe even on the traffic signals in lieu of on private buildings. We may have to do an IGA with IDOT, but certainly this has been done in other towns, and we can look at the hoops we need to do to get them installed properly. So.
Okay.
And I actually have one other thing. So just some clarification. We have a strategic planning meeting coming up.
Sure.
That is an open meeting. You know, I think that the council, we've done a really, at least in my opinion, we've really put a focus on transparency. And, you know, I still get people say, I don't know what's going on, or you don't tell me, or, you know, are you making $1 million from the city, stuff like that. They don't know where to look, but when you point them in the right direction, people can find what they want, right? Which is progress. LOckport TV, I think, is also obviously progress. So I think we should consider actually holding that meeting here and televising it.
Well,
as an open meeting, I think that just gives a little bit more transparency and openness. And then I actually did have a question on like participation, right? If a resident chooses to come as an open meeting, how will that happen, right? I'm assuming they can't just interact throughout the entire time. Will there be like a 5-minute open session like our open meetings here, or what's the protocol going to be on that?
There's a couple things. One, this will be a special meeting of the City Council. We will be producing a document that will have a meeting notice, just like we would for any other special council meeting. Whenever you all assemble, we have to be able to allow access to media or to public. You know, in my experience, strategic planning sessions can sometimes be a little bit of sausage, and I don't know if you want all that on TV. That's just my opinion. I think you certainly want to produce the reports and allow the public to come to a meeting if they want to, but typically strategic planning and talking about different things and your opinions in regards to what you want to do and how you want to do it, you know, is certainly, it's one of those things mandated by the state that have to be open. If someone wants to come listen, they can. At this point, we don't have a provision for the council to participate in the strategic plan. We will have an open comment period if someone wants to comment on it, but you know, Tom's going to be working with us in regards to the legalities that we're covered on what we have to produce.
Yeah, and obviously a resident, very few residents could actually sit in and really participate because they just don't know enough of the puts and takes, and, you know,
Right.
it's easy to say we should do everything that gets discussed, but that's not
Right.
realistic. But,
Well, nothing.
but I do think televising the discussion is, that's just my opinion. Sure.
Okay.
You can go as you want, but my opinion is always going to be more transparent, the better.
Right. Well, and then the whole point is that we have a document that we're going to put on our website and we're going to publicize, and that these are the goals that we want to do, and these were achieved by, you know, staff and having the council. In the past, we've had internal staff strategic meetings, and, you know, we don't invite the public to that. This was an opportunity to invite the input from the public's elected officials that we haven't done prior, other than the mayor at our last one. So, you know, cities have strategic sessions all the time. Some are in a forum just like this, and others are more of a retreat setting, and that's what we were trying to accomplish with this one. So it's totally a preference. We could certainly change what our plan is. We could certainly have another meeting after this one to have a public forum where we have, you know, we've often talked about getting input from the community in regards to online and surveys. We could certainly have a first strategic planning session with this professional consultant, with staff, and with the council. We could have a secondary strategic session later that invites the public to have a more participation, more of a public process, if we can get anyone to come. So there are certainly things we can do to try to be more transparent with our planning process, but, you know, it's entirely up to the council, so.
My feeling is any decision that comes out of there, it has to come out here in a council meeting. So
Right.
the idea that we get to, you know, kind of sit there and talk frankly and openly, and then come to some kind of conclusions, those conclusions then are here presented, like you said, in a report and
I guess that is probably, that is true. I mean, that obviously is true. I'm coming a little bit from, I've been hearing more and more about, like, water quality, and not how it was on Bammy, where you just, you know, yellow
Sure.
water coming out of the faucet, but just general, mains are good, house is new, but quality's not that great, right?
Yeah.
And where does that rank in terms of priorities? And my personal feeling is that I don't hear that much about just normal water quality outside of the extreme, you know, mains broken, things like that.
Sure.
It's probably not a huge priority.
Well, we
And-
just
and so
actually
then
got
it's just
a,
like, does that get brought up, and are we going to allocate resources to that or not? I don't know the answer.
That's what this process is all about.
Exactly. So
Right.
that's what, when I've residents asking me that, and I say, well, I don't know, that will come out in that meeting.
when do we have Strand kind of give their report?
Yes, they've done a report. We've obviously met with them and gave them some of our feedback on it. We've had one internal meeting with the mayor and Darren in regards to the public safety official on it, and so we can bring it back to, you know, whether we bring it public or we email it to everyone, but there's certainly components in what they're recommending we do will end up in a CIP, right, to be prioritized. And I think I've been working with Amy in regards to kind of restating the CIP, so we can, that's probably something that's going to come out of the strategic planning process, is that one of my preferences is we have these priorities being put on us, whether it's a 5-year, 10-year outlook, and we need to assess where they go into a capital improvement program. That the one we created was great on existing needs, but now it's going to have to be restated, and I know she's going to do a street survey at the end of this year, and we're going to update the CIP and where things are, and so this all ties in together a little bit in that
And that's
narrative.
exactly right. So if we do a 5-year CIP and, I don't know what the answer would be, microfiltration doesn't make it in, right?
Sure.
Which is a very real possibility.
Right.
Residents would know that, or would see the debate that happened, and we chose, you know, 4 other things instead of that project. That's the transparency I was looking for. There's nothing secretive or,
No, I mean,
you know, you
it's-
mentioned retreat. It's
As
not
you
like
grow,
some-
there are more demands. We have to plan for it. That's more what it really is. And, you know, we're certainly going to have to add additional wells in our next 10-year plan, and we're going to have to even someday talk about water treatment facilities, which are very expensive. And would we have a regional approach to that, or will we be expanding our current operations? And so there'll be another task order coming from Strand in regards to consulting with us on what can we get out of our current plants, more capacity, and at some point the IEPA will say if we continue to grow and hit our population projections, that another treatment plant will be required, and that's a heavy financial burden that maybe we can do a shared regional approach with other communities nearby that have the same growth and needs. So,
And I guess really the bottom line is, I would see this retreat as like, things that are on everybody's heart and on their minds. We put it all together, and like Ben says, and you grind it up, and then we come here and we openly and publicly debate the things that we discussed. And so,
we could try to put something together in conjunction with the strategic retreat for the staff and the elected officials, that we also have an online participation survey where we can get some of the public's inquiry into a survey, and provide that report in regards to, maybe we can get it done before the planning session and/or afterwards, and then before the document is finalized, we could have a public, there's a way to get some public input, certainly.
it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate your thoughts on it. Anything else? I have 2 comment cards.
Oh.
Gabriel, you want to talk? You out there? Gabriel?
You know what, he said he was going to come back, so I don't know if he...
Okay. And then it was about quiet zone processes. The other one's Kevin. Come on up. Kevin, just state your name and your address if you care to, so we know where you live. And
Sure. Kevin DeSchaff, and the address is...
you don't think, just...
Well, I'll explain. Good evening, everybody. This is my first time coming to a council meeting. I think I've realized I should probably come to more, so it's been worth it. So I've lived in Lockport for 15 years, for 4 in Victoria Crossings, and then we moved into a home in Broken Arrow for 11 years. Had very good luck selling it. We sold very quickly on the first day back in June, and we had to leave, but we're building a home in Oak Creek down on Farrell there. We're under drywall, so I'm excited. It looks like it's happening. My kids have always gone to 33C. I've always been, paying taxes in 33C. My wife's very involved in the volunteer work there, so we love the schools. I went into the district last week when it became very apparent that we weren't going to be in the new home by the start of the school year. And talking to our builder and some other folks, the rules of 33C kind of change on a whim. You never know what's going to happen year to year. And the policy this year, this is the sheet that I was given. So to explain what we're doing, we're living between parents right now, mainly in Downers Grove. They've got a big enough house where it's not too crazy. But my intention was to hopefully be in by the end of September is the schedule, and we'd be commuting from Downers Grove, 15-minute drive or so. It's very quick down 355. When I explained this to the school district, they informed me that that's not necessarily acceptable, but can be done. I will have to give them a check for $350 per student, just to fill out the paperwork. And then if we're not in by the 30-day mark of school starting, which would be September 22nd, I'd have to give them $3,326.96 per student. So when you add that to the $700 fee to fill out the paperwork, we're at $73.52. Now that's on top of the school facility fee that my builder had to give the city of Lockport, I believe, and then about $4,000 to $6,000 goes to 33C, which I understand takes care of that lag time since we pay taxes in arrear. So when I pay my taxes next year, which would cover this year, there's no refund, so it's kind of like being double taxed. And I understand why that's the case. But I feel like this is a special circumstance because I've always been in this district. Just because I wanted to have my paperwork straight, I figured out that I've given about $97,000 in property taxes since I've lived here.
Kevin, let me just ask you a question, man, because it sounds like you're in the wrong meeting.
Well, and I expected that answer, and I did go to the school board.
no offense, but I'm like, I don't think I can help you.
I went to the school board and talked to them, and the superintendent, Dr. Kalyanis, through her admin, basically told me, too bad. You're in a situation that apparently is very unique, although I know it's not, because there's 3 other families moving into Oak Creek that are in this same situation. And the reason why I came to the city council, and I have gone to the school board, is because people are moving into this town for the schools. MI Homes, MC Custom Homes, all the developments in the area that are in 33C, that's in big bold print on their advertisements, and that's why people are coming here. And what I'm hearing over and over from people that are doing what I'm doing or similar to it, the school district is not cooperative. It's definitely not all about the kids. It's about the money. And I think you know, if you total, they calculate this tuition fee at $75 a day. It's only $187 more to send your kid to ISU in Bloomington. This is ridiculous. Between the school facility fee, which again I understand, the $7,000 I'd have to give them for my kids to go to school, and then the taxes I'm going to pay next year, it's a triple tax. And this is a school board that seems to do things like this quite often, and I think that it's really a deterrent, or could be a deterrent, from people moving into Lockport as all these homes are being built, when people are figuring out that they've got to be in by September 22nd, or they can't get the upgrade on their house that they're building. That doesn't make it as attractive to move into these schools as it used to be.
Okay.
So I think it is a city issue. It's definitely a school board issue, but I could bang my head against the wall in that building and get more results. They're not up to conversations. And again, I think my situation is extremely different. But they don't seem to care. And I have obviously a contract for my house. There's estimated timelines of when I'll be in. I could take them there. You know, we're not hiding anything. But that's where it is. And I just wonder what involvement the city has with the school board to, you know, make it more attractive for people to come in. Because if I was building a house and knew right away that I would have to transfer my kids from wherever I'm at into this school because they wouldn't let them go to school here for 30 days, I probably just wouldn't build here. I wouldn't want to do that with my kids.
All right. Well, I have no good answers for you because we usually don't have that much interaction with the school. But it's an interesting dilemma, and I mean, thanks for sharing it.
Have you gone to their school board meeting?
That's what he said he did.
Yeah, I've been to one. They wouldn't allow people to talk.
So you can approach the school board like this?
Well, I went there today, and I went there twice last week. Different paperwork had to be filled out. We've figured out, I think, a workaround where we're going to move in with my sister-in-law who lives in the district in an extremely small house because I'm not paying college tuition to go to Butler School.
Sure.
So we're going to try to figure out that workaround. They're okay with that. I've got to give them a packet of documents in order to do it. But I mean, it'd be great. We're too late to the game to start a fight, but this is definitely...
Going back to that, you couldn't speak to the school board directly?
No, when I went, it was a closed session. I mean, I just figured this out. Like, I didn't think that there would be a big...
I would have just thought, like, you appeal to the school board and they see the sense of it.
No, but I mean, if I just figured this out about a week and a half ago, I didn't think this would be a problem, because in years past, they gave you to October 1st if you had a contract. This paperwork says that if you're not in by November 1st, you can't even go to school here. They'll transfer you to another school district, even if your house is almost done.
All right. Well, look, I do empathize with you, or sympathize.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I do. Like if I call over there, they're going to jump through hoops because the mayor calls. They could care less.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and I don't know.
I was just made aware of this. Today. Actually, I received this form letter that you have. Chris Cozzo, the builder.
That's our builder.
Sent it to me today by email, and I saw and reviewed it. It is news to us that they're doing this. I guess I'd have to look at other school districts and what they do and their policies, and their school board governs what their policies are in regards to how they collect their fees for their students. It seems like they could be a little bit more accommodating. I mean, I think the city wants to have that welcome mat out there. We have these houses going up, and 33C is certainly benefiting from our commercial growth without providing students. They're benefiting from our new homes being built and these impact fees. There's also a questionable disparity in regards to what 33C receives in school impact fees for the city of Lockport residents versus New Lenox residents. So I'll be meeting with the school superintendent on that as I do more research and find inequities. We can certainly do something about one of those fees. That the current Lockport Code does allow us the authority to change that on 33C if we warranted it. This other item that this particular gentleman is experiencing may be outside our bounds of changing. This is a school board policy and procedure, and we can certainly try to learn more about the situation. As you said eloquently, and we may be a little too late in the game to help this season, But we certainly welcome the dialogue with the school district and finding ways to work with families building homes here that are closing after certain dates and deadlines, and we don't want to have a punitive financial impact on future
I have
residents.
a question. What day of the month does 33C School Board meet?
They meet on the
I think it's the last Tuesday of the
last
month.
Tuesday of the month.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tuesday of the month? So they get you-
Yes, strategically, it doesn't really matter, because the school will have started this year. And again, I'm not,
You know what, here's the thing, Kevin, I think it's an interesting and important thing that you brought to us, so you're right. It is a city issue in that, as we're trying to, welcome and bring people here to the new developments,
Right.
And you don't want
any
people-
wrinkles that we see, if we can help iron them out, we will. So why don't, I'll, Ben, reach out to the school, and just kind of, we'll start talking about, dialoguing on this, because it does seem to be problematic.
Yeah, and if Mr. Benson is in contact with our builder, there's a list of things that he has a problem with that you're aware of.
I'm more familiar with Chris Cozzo.
He's a regular, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I just, again, if you talk to Chris, tell him to just get me in that house by September 22nd. But,
Work on
it's, the impact fee itself is a whole nother issue to be addressed, because they are basing that on a number that is,
You could charge Chris $1 for impact fees, and he'd say it's too high, so.
well, it's my money, though. I paid it.
True.
It is my money. So.
We are working with them in regards to another issue in regards to the AV value set that dictates some of that, and so they've agreed to update those, and unfortunately, those will probably come down in a future year after you're already in, but there are a few things we can do, but there are other things that we can't, so we'll research it a little more, and we can certainly, if you want to stick around and give me your phone number after the meeting.
Yeah, I will, and I appreciate you listening. Again, it's not so much about me, because it's a little late, but I just been talking, there's 6 homes going up, we'll be the second ones in, and there's 3 other people with this same issue, so it's...
I'm beginning to wonder about the other districts. What are they doing in town? This is just one district, 33C.
Well, like I
don't
said,
know.
Ben, why don't you reach out?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, District 92 does not do this, if you have a contract on a home, because Beechin and Dill homes are 92, and they are, 92 is very accommodating, but Homer is not.
Yeah, okay.
In the meantime, I could recommend reach out to this current school board members, send them an email, and get that information at their website. And even though the meeting isn't until the end of the month, which is too late for the school year, but at least you could get them aware of the issue in the meantime.
Yeah, I will go to the after school starts, their next board meeting, I'll go and ask why this is the case.
Should be a public comment period that you'll be an opportunity at the end of the meeting. Yeah.
Tom, you had some
Could be
insight
law.
you wanna share?
A couple of other agencies that this gentleman may want to check with. One is the Will County Regional Office of Education. Dr. Sean Walsh is the regional superintendent. They have limited jurisdiction over all of the school districts in Will County, and there may be some type of state regulation that I'm unaware of it because I haven't had experience with this. But Sean is very accessible, and he may be willing to talk to you to let you know if there are some state regulations that may control. And then there's the Illinois State Board of Education. And before you go tonight, I can give you the websites and the contact numbers.
Yeah,
So
I'd
they
appreciate
may-
that. I mean, the law says that we have the right to send our kids to school if we are divorced or if we become homeless or if we're in transition. That is the law, but it doesn't mean you don't have to pay. And they set the fees at $75 a day. So, but I will contact them because I could use the $7,300 for other things that my wife wants in this house.
Yeah, it's a bizarre problem, man. So, all right.
Thank you very much, though.
Yeah, thanks for coming. All right, anything else? We get a motion to adjourn Committee of the Whole?
I'll make a motion.
Second. GR, seconded by Joanne, all in favor?
Aye.
If I could just have a 1-minute break.
Yeah, why don't you get him some information and then, well, we'll just, take 2 minutes if you guys need to, otherwise we'll start in just a minute.
Amy said she goes, no, I think we're digging it all out.
All right, can I, we're going to start our city council meeting. Can I get a roll call? Alice,
Yes,
please?
Alderman Petracos?
Here.
Alderman Gillogly?
Here.
Alderman Smith?
Here.
Alderman Duskin?
Here.
Alderman Vandermeer?
Here.
Alderman Beretta?
Here.
Alderwoman Bartleson?
Here.
7 present.
All right. Okay, I'm looking to have a motion for a consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Alderman Beretta,
Second.
seconded by Jason. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays, Mr. Petrakis? All right, so on the consent agenda, we have regular city council meeting minutes from July 20th, committee of the whole meeting minutes from July 20th, our payroll period ending July 17th, approval of various bills, and surplus property police department resolution 16056.
I'll make that motion.
All right. Motion
Second.
passed, seconded by JR. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Alderman Petracos?
Yes.
Capadona is absent. Gillogly?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Duskin?
Yes.
Vandermeer?
Yes.
Beretta?
Yes.
Bartleson?
Yes.
7 yeas, motion carried.
All right, Amy, you're the star.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the county. Amy's going to be up here. Well, I've worked on this one with her quite a bit. She's done a lot of the legwork for us, and just wanted to bring up, obviously, this is the Commerce Street alley improvement, and we finally had the bid letting. There's one clarification I just wanted to make in the memo or with the attachment. Alternate 1 and 2, you'll see a price on there of alternate 2 says $38,000. That's including alternate 1. So I just wanted to clarify that 1 and 2 was actually combined. The individuals are like 19 and whatever the math is on that, 17 something. So just wanted to point that out, and we'll let Amy kind of go through this a little bit. But really, it's pretty much as we had described. The alternates are really for, the first alternate is for a vinyl fence, which is a much more ornate fence. The original bid documents included a chain link. We wanted to get an alternate for that. So that's why we are recommending that alternate number 1. Alternate number 2 is the top coat, the chip seal for the parking lot, which is easily removed, but it gives us a nice surface for people parking on. The city will, not included in this, the city will buy rubberized bumpers. They're, $50 a piece. We'll put as many as we can in there with some striping. But for the actual construction of the lot, this also includes the Hamilton lot entryways, the ways into the so-called alleyway behind the Hamilton Street parking lot, so that'll be resurfaced, and of course Commerce. One of the things about this proposal is it was to be completed by September 16th this year, which is a quick access to be completed. They did offer a $7,500 savings if we waited to November. We felt that if we could get this in sooner this year, that it'd be worth the additional $7,500. So, in summary, the recommendation is to get this done before September 16th. We get this done with the ornamental, better fencing that matches the existing fencing down at the landing, so there'll be a nice connection through it, and then also the additional top coat cost that for the parking lot. Otherwise, we don't want a gravel parking lot. So, sorry, did I cover it all?
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think you were right as far as the alternates.
1 and 2?
Yeah, the alternates don't, the alternate 2 doesn't include alternate 1, but it includes the cost of the upgrade, and it doesn't account for the deduction on the fence that's already in the contract. So the net change for alternate 2 is not $38,000, it's only $18,000.
I got you.
So.
Okay. Well, let me make a motion so we can discuss. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Jason? Seconded by Darren.
Mayor, I need to abstain from discussion and vote on this one. I am interested in selling the one manhole cover that's on this project.
Okay.
Better resist.
Okay. First off, Ben, I didn't mean to steal your thunder by saying Amy was the star. You
Yes,
guys,
sorry.
all of the staff has worked very hard on this, and I appreciate it. I think it's a great, important improvement down there, the big picture of what we've been doing. So thank you for all your hard work on this. All right, so any questions, concerns?
I do have a question. So for some reason, I didn't realize that this was going to be like a chip and seal type.
It's not. The Commerce Street alleyway
Yeah.
is resurfacing. The
Okay.
only thing that's chip and seal is that little parking lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just the
'cause
parking lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think we were paying this much money for chip
No.
and seal, and then I thought I read chip and seal. Okay,
Yeah.
that explains my confusion.
This is why the administrator needs to stay quiet on engineering projects, yeah.
Introduce Amy and step aside.
Okay.
Let the engineer
Just the parking
talk.
lot.
That was the only thing that confused me. That makes sense.
All right. Anything else?
Yes. I know we had talked about this doing the Commerce Street for many years. I know we talked about it. So Commerce Street's going to be just tore up and then relayed, correct? A new blacktop overlay, or what are we doing?
Yeah, this is a resurfacing.
Okay,
There will be some stamped asphalt to show a walkway across from the railroad.
Okay.
You'll still be able to drive on both those surfaces. There'll be new guardrail, the very old rusty guardrail beat up right now, and then the ornamental fencing as well.
Okay. I think, and I don't know, but are we addressing any drainage concerns for that area? I know at one time we talked about putting in the perforated stoneway, brickway. We went to the Orland Park Police Department and seen their parking lot. It's got the water escape.
Perforated pavers.
Yes.
Permeable pavers.
Yeah, this is not a permeable paver
Okay.
project. That was the ITEP grant that we filled out a couple of years ago. That was much, much more expensive for that, and we didn't get the grant. This is just a resurfacing with the stamped asphalt. I think there are some minor drainage improvements, but nothing major is included with
I
this.
guess my concern is that I don't know what it's like been down there lately when we do have a heavy rain, if that area still is some concern. So I guess I'd rather say, are we looking at that at all, or is there any concerns for drainage?
Have we found it problematic lately? I haven't noticed.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any complaints. I mean, the existing storage, or the existing storm drains and everything will still be utilized, and like she said, there might be a few minor enhancements with
Well,
some of
are
the...
the ones that are there, are they in good shape? Are they usable, I guess is what I'm asking? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We are going to be abandoning the water main that's down there during the 2017-2018 IDOT project, so eventually that structure will be not needed anymore either, so.
I just want to make sure we're covering
Yeah.
our storm or drainage down there if there is an issue yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of one, but
And I don't think when we applied for the IGIG grant a few years back with the permeable pavers, I don't think that there was a major issue that we were trying to alleviate. It was just the overall reduction of runoff from that downtown area with lots of impermeable surfaces was going to be, made a lot better, especially when we have high-intensity, short-duration storms. So I don't think that major, standing water or drainage issue down there. It was just, a good opportunity to incorporate this grant project into a project for the downtown.
Well, I have a question. We had somebody that did that resin lining was down there.
Mm-hmm.
Was that for storm sewer or was that for sanitary?
Sanitary sewer.
Sanitary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Well, why don't we do a roll call?
Alderman Petracos?
Yes.
Alderman Smith?
Yes.
Alderman Deskin?
Yes.
Alderman Vandermeer?
Yes.
Alderman Paretta?
Yes.
Alderman Bartleson? Yes. 6 yeas, motion carried.
All right. If there's no new business, then we'll have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jason and, did I hear Big Jim? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any nays?